we had too many penalties, which put us in the long distance situations that we just couldn't overcome. So, we'll go back, get to work, hopefully get a couple more guys back, and hopefully start playing some better football.
Dennis, y'all were saying that you felt like the return of a lot of these injured starters would kind of provide a spark for the team. Why do you think, even though they came back, the offense wasn't able to?
Yeah, look, it's hard to say. I mean, I think we got to go back and evaluate exactly, what was going on there. But obviously, we really couldn't get, much going offensively. And then we made some big plays. We made some explosive plays, and then we followed it up with, penalties, which put us into long distance situations. And, right now we're not overcoming those. And so we've got to play a cleaner game to give ourselves a chance. Penalties I thought hurt us.
What made you decide to switch quarterbacks?
Look, I just felt like we needed to do something to try to get something going offensively. We weren't able to move the football, and I felt like we needed to do something to try to create some sort of spark.
What did you think Spencer Rattler was having trouble doing today?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of reads that probably could have been better on. And look, we certainly didn't help him with a couple of drops and things of that nature. I think just the margin for error right now is small, and so when we have opportunities to make plays, I think we have to be able to make the plays.
Rattler didn't have many passes beyond 10 yards. Did y'all go in?
We had a couple that were dialed up to try to get the ball down the field, and for whatever reason, whether it was the pressure, or the coverage took it away, and we had to go and put the ball underneath.
Did y'all go into that with a more conservative game plan in terms of throwing downfield?
No, I think we had some shot plays up there that we just didn't, for multiple reasons, whether it was pressure or covered, where we had to get the ball down rather than get the ball down the field.
Is it fair to say the offensive penalties have been an ongoing issue?
Well, it's certainly something that we still need to work to clean up. I don't know that I'm saying that that's an ongoing issue. I mean, obviously, anytime you have them, it's a problem. And so we've got to work to get those cleaned up.
Was the hamstring injury for Kendra Miller, the same one, that sideline? Was it the same hamstring?
No, I think it's a different hamstring. I think it's opposite side.
Same with Marshawn, or how about Marshawn?
I think it's the same one that was, kind of pulled him out of the game last week.
So aggravated.
Yeah.
2 more hamstring injuries. Is that just maddening? That's the continued theme.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, for those 2 players, because they kind of had a little bit of that in their history. And so we've got to, try to figure out how we can eliminate that.
Yeah, what's kind of the message at this point? 6 losses in a row now.
Yeah, the message is it's the people in the room in there that are going to have to change it. Nobody's coming from outside the building. It's going to have to be the guys that are in that locker room, coaches, to fix it. I mean, that's what it is, and we have to pay better attention to all the details, and we have to do a better job of coaching all the details. Because details matter in our league, and we don't get to pick and choose which ones do and which ones don't.
Is there a chance Derek plays next week? Is that possible?
I think there's a possibility, yeah.
How do you think he did under the circumstances just coming in?
Yeah, look, I mean, I thought he did some good things, created a few plays. Took us down and gave us an opportunity to score, some points. But ultimately, we got to play better as a group.
It's very easy to look at this and assume that the quarterback makes all the difference. What's bothering you most about the offense outside of just the quarterback?
Well, I just think just the fundamentals of getting in and out of the huddle, get lined up, let's get a ball play called, let's get moving here. I just thought it was sloppy today, and so I think, we got to work hard to clean those things up. And then, I think, we got to be able to rely on our better players to make some plays for us. And so I think that's, that's where we've got to improve. I mean, obviously, we got two young quarterbacks, both of which I like a lot, but both are young quarterbacks, and so you got to deal with some of the challenges that go along with that.
And it's frustrating are just the explosives defensively, especially on a day like today when you kind of clean some of this stuff up.
Yeah, look, we did a good job on a lot of things. The one play there in the fourth quarter down our left sideline or their right sideline, I think that's a young player not fully understanding how that coverage is being played. The one on Alante, I thought he was in great position, and I really thought when the ball went up, I thought that was going to be an interception. They made the play, we didn't. So some of those like that, is part of playing the game of football. We gotta limit the ones that we can control a little bit.
Can you say what happened with Bub Means? It's too late in the game for us to get an update on that.
So it was an ankle there at the end of the game. I'm not sure, the extent of the ankle injury.
I believe it was Rattlers last series of the game. You guys had gone backwards because of a penalty. I think it was 2nd and 16, 3rd and 16, and probably 7-8 yards when we got you in field goal range. Was there anything with the decision making on those plays or anything that was like?
I'd have to probably go back and look at it. I don't specifically recall. I think when you're in that situation, you're trying to get yourself into, field goal range. I think that's the number one thing when you're in a longer distance situation. First thing you're trying to do is get yourself into field goal range. And so the exact play, I don't exactly recall.
Dennis, the Saints haven't lost 6 straight since 2005, and obviously that resulted in a lot of major changes after the season. Like you said last week, you don't worry about that stuff, but do you feel like when you're kind of in the midst of this losing streak that like you have to have conversations with like Mickey or the front office?
Yeah, look,
like,
we have conversations every day. You know what I mean? And so I don't feel any more sense of, having to have these conversations. Look, I think we all understand that it's a results oriented business, and we need to play better football. I think we all understand that.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And on this edition, this is the post-game show of the State of the Saints podcast, powered by BETUS. Sign up today, get up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to 2,000 of them things. Download the BETUS app, go to the website, use the promo code YouTube150. And the Saints were a 7-point underdog going into the game versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And the New Orleans Saints got the brakes beat off of them by the score of 26-8. This is the third straight loss of 10 or more points for the New Orleans Saints, if I'm not mistaken. They got beat down by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay put 51 points on them. I think it was 51-27. They lost a couple days later to the Denver Broncos by a score of 33-10. And the Saints had 10 days, 10, to be able to correct some of the issues, to be a more formidable team. They had a mini bye. You had Alvin out in Knoxville. You had players getting away, taking a little bit of them time, a little bit of me time. Come back refreshed. All for them to lose 26-8. Ladies and gentlemen, who that nation, sports fans all over the world. I'm not going to sit up here and go back and forth with anybody. It's pointless at this point. Anybody that roots for another team that's here to laugh, justifiably so, it's justified. You're not going to get any arguments from me. This is a bad football team. And to be quite honest with you, it's a waste of our time to be raising our voice and talk about the things that need to change as long as Dennis Allen is the head coach of this football team. And yes, I did play the press conference because if I got to listen to it, you do too. I'm just joking. As a matter of fact, I was just finishing up a meal, man, because in between all these podcasts, a brother got to eat. But it's sad, man. It's sad that we're at this point. It's sad that we're in this predicament. It's sad that Mickey Loomis just wants Saints fans to be miserable for some apparent reason. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe they just want, he just wants Saints fans to be miserable. I gave you all these great moments. Now it's time for you to be miserable. I guess that's what it is. Because clearly, Mickey Loomis doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about what the fans want, because if he did, he would know that the fans want Dennis Allen gone. Dennis Allen should be fired, Who Dat Nation. He should not be coaching tomorrow, but he will. And the Saints will take on the Carolina Panthers, and they'll try to go into that game, and they'll try to take advantage of low-hanging fruit. And if they just so happen to win a football game, it's going to be them happy and excited and acting as if they did something, but it's right in Dennis Allen's wheelhouse to go up against a struggling team and look the part. But I don't even think they're going to win next week. Yes, I said that. I don't think they're going to win next week because unlike the New Orleans Saints, the Carolina Panthers actually care. They actually want to win. They're not good. We all know that they're not good, but at least they try to do everything within their power to try to be the best that they can possibly be. You know, they lost to the Denver Broncos 28-14 on today, but they scored 14 points. The Saints have scored 8. The Saints are not a good football team. I just don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm just wasting time, man. And honestly, I got better things to do in my life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of these comments. We're going to talk a little bit about this monstrosity, this embarrassment, and just ridiculous excuse for a football game. And then we're going to go ahead and call it a night. How does that sound? All right, the New Orleans Saints, they lose 26-8, like I just mentioned. Started off, New Orleans Saints, they were the first team on the board with a whopping 2 points off a muffed punt. Punt goes over the punter's head, goes into the end zone, safety, 2-0. The New Orleans Saints could not move the football. They had opportunities. Alvin Kamara did everything he possibly can. A couple screen plays. There was some big plays, a couple big runs, penalty, and more penalty. Kendre Miller breaks off a big run. Yeah, man, Kendre, man, that's what we want. Holding, number 70. Kendre Miller gets the ball again, runs the ball. Holding, number 61. Uneligible player downfield, number 61. Every play that they had that was positive, every play that was worth something, guess what? Penalty. Couldn't get out of their own way. Spencer Rattler. Guy ain't ready for prime time. I'm not going to sit up here and beat up on him because it was a losing battle. When you have a head coach that barely knows what the hell he doing, how do you expect for the quarterback to know? For anybody that's out here that's trying to judge this guy based on these performances, I would say pump your brakes. First off, he wasn't ready for this moment. I only feel like they put him in because this was a situation where the New Orleans Saints felt like they could be right about the quarterback in waiting. See, last year, you had Jameis Winston on the bench and people were clamoring for Jameis Winston to come off the bench to play when Derek Carr was struggling. But they knew that Spencer Rattler wasn't ready for prime time. They knew that he wasn't the guy just yet. So they wanted to give the fans what they want out of basically just being petty. They know that this guy was more than likely not going to be able to take advantage of the moment. They knew that he still had some work that he needed to do, but they put him on the field. Guess why? So when Derek Carr comes back, you won't have those little whispers in the background saying, man, we need Spencer Rattler out there. Now, when Derek Carr comes back, nobody's going to say anything because they know that he's the best quarterback that the Saints have. And that's not saying much, in my opinion. That's not saying much at all. But that's the reason why they did what they did. They bring in Jake Haener. Jake Haener, I feel so bad for the dude because he basically was the casualty in this petty war that the New Orleans Saints did. And now you have two quarterbacks in Spencer Rattler who confidence is shot because he feels like he's in a losing battle, can't even move the ball down the field. And you also have Jake Haener, for no reason or no fault of his own, had to sit back for 3 games and watch Spencer Rattler play when he knows that he's not that far away from being on the same level or even better in some cases than Spencer Rattler is at this point. The New Orleans Saints, to me, are an organization that is trying so desperately to try to fight off the naysayers, to try to make fans feel like they don't know what they're talking about, try to make fans feel like they got the best answers, and how dare you question them? We brought you Sean Payton, we gave you Drew Brees, we gave you winning seasons, so how dare you question anything that we do? It's easy. And I've said this for the last couple of episodes, and I'm going to say this again for those that may not checked it out and probably just seen this today. Mickey Loomis is not a good general manager. Yes, I just said this. Mickey Loomis is the Zach Taylor of the National Football League. He benefited from really good quarterback play in Drew Brees and really good coaching in Sean Payton. Remove that, and what do you have? Just a middle of the road, average, below average general manager. That is what he is. And for some apparent reason, he honestly feels that he is the reason why the New Orleans Saints, like just him alone for some apparent reason, he is the one with the answers. He is the one that legitimized this franchise. You did not. You did not. And now he feels like he can go on WWL radio. He can go on WWL radio and say, I can look beyond the results. You know why he can look beyond the results? Because he's the executive vice president of the team. Do you think a general manager of the Eagles, a general manager of the Giants, the general manager of the Commanders can go on any of those respected radio stations in that area and says, I can look beyond the results? We need to look beyond that. Do you think they honestly can do that and keep their job? Absolutely not. This is a guy who is made out of Teflon and understands that. So he can keep on bringing out Dennis Allen week after week after week after week after week over and over and over again, and no type of blowback. Gail Benson isn't going to say anything, and neither is Dennis Lauscher. So he can go and say all of these ridiculous things, and he can sit there and watch this team continuously lose football games. Dennis Allen can continue to be outcoached, and we can just continuously be miserable week after week. But something needs to be done. I don't know what it is, folks. I wish I can say this person get fired. It don't seem like it's going to happen. But something needs to be done. Let me read a few of these comments, man. Then like I said, we getting up out of here. I done ran out of adjectives to describe how bad this football team is. Barbara says, I agree. Definitely. TJ, maybe they are trying, but we are just missing it. If they trying, then man, we've really fallen off. This is rock bottom right here. This is rock bottom. Like the New Orleans Saints have hit rock bottom. You know how you hit rock bottom? When your rivals are talking about you and laughing at you and you helping them. That's when you know you hit rock bottom. When you like, man, your team suck, man. You ain't lying, bro. Man, y'all boys ain't going nowhere, man. You ain't lying, bro. Like, you can't even, like, I'm going to help you talk about them. That's when you know that you hit rock bottom. And then this is also how you know you hit rock bottom. When they talking about your team and you have no emotion behind it. It's not like how it feels when you talking about somebody that you love desperately or love with everything that you have. It's like, it doesn't even like matter. Doesn't even matter. It's rock bottom, folks. It's rock bottom. Tim, thank you very much for $2. Said TJ, why don't we care anymore? I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you this though. If they continue, I was very reluctant to say this statement. And I know what I'm about to say might tick a lot of people off, but I was reluctant to make this statement. I really feel that New Orleans Saints fans need to stop going to the football games. I really feel like New Orleans Saints fans need to stop going to the football games, supporting this football team, knowing that they're not putting your best interests at heart. You need to stay at home, chill, watch the game from the comfort of your own home. Now, I know some people probably going to look at this as being blasphemous, and some people probably cut it off listening to me. But I'm telling you, if you care about the New Orleans Saints football like you say, the best thing for you to do is to stay at home. Because here's the reality. They want individuals like some of these other people on Twitter. Man, y'all ain't no real Saints fans, man. Real Saints fans will support the team, good, bad, or indifferent. Y'all ain't real. Y'all some fake fans. Fake fans only roll with the team when they up. Like I said, anything in life, you have to prove your commitment to something in order to get that commitment, I guess, reciprocated back to you. Like, that's just how it works. If somebody says that they love you, that's cool. But how do you know for sure? By their actions, by the things that they do to show you that they love you, that they care about you, that they admire you, right? That's anything in life. But if I'm telling you that I love you, if I'm telling you I appreciate you, and I show absolutely no love towards you, I act like you're the vein of my existence. I don't, if you're a guy, you don't open the door for your lady. You don't, send a I love you text for every now and then. Don't take out to dinner. Like, what kind of stuff is that, right? You love me, but you ain't really showing it. Same thing, ladies, like, what are you doing? You got to show it. And they ain't showing the love, man. So why should you sit up here and be showing love back? Yeah. If you love the football team, in my opinion, I'll stop going to the games. I'll stop going to the football games. It's just that plain and simple. Don't subject yourself to this nonsense. Because this right now, this is a peeing contest. This is what this is about. This is the reality of it. If you don't listen to nothing else I say on this episode, listen to this. This is a peeing contest. This isn't about him feeling. I'm talking Mickey Loomis. This isn't about Mickey Loomis feeling like Dennis Allen is the right person for the job. This is a old egotistical man who does not want to admit that hiring Dennis Allen was a mistake. So he is trying everything that he possibly can to justify the hiring of Dennis Allen. He doesn't want to look like he was had by Sean Payton, because it was Sean Payton who recommended Dennis Allen. And now that he hired Dennis Allen as his head coach, he wants to make it feel like it was his decision. And he wants to be right about this decision. But the reality is, it doesn't matter what you give Dennis Allen. It doesn't matter if you give him the quarterback. It doesn't matter if you give him the players. It doesn't matter if you give him the coaches. He is going to fail. And Mickey Loomis, instead of him understanding that, his ego is shot. So in order to try to save face, or try to, I don't know, pump up his own ego, he is trying to make this Dennis Allen experience work. So once again, this isn't about you. It's not about you, and it's everything to do with Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis is trying to justify this hiring. And we are casualties of war because of this. Like we are the casualties. That is what we are. We are the casualties of him trying to justify this hiring. So I'm telling you, if you love Saints football, hell, if you love yourself, stay at home and stop supporting this nonsense that this guy's putting on the field. That's a good catch right there. Oh man. Sorry, watching this 49ers game too. Got the boy Deebo Samuel. That man was just out the hospital. Now think about it, this man was in the hospital for a week, going out there and going for 47. Come on, man. Come on. I ain't go like, if you love Saints football, don't go to the game. I'm gonna tell y'all how bad it is. I was at, I was at the Little Easy, right, on Julia Street, which, I like to be back there again during the show. So shouts out to the Little Easy out there on Julia Street. And at the Little Easy, I met the Dark Saint. Now, some of y'all probably know who he is. He wears the black and gold face paint like the Phantom Menace, right? And I seen him in a bar, and I was just talking to him, shooting a breeze with him. When he told me who he was, he had to tell me. He didn't have his face paint on. He told me, he said, until the New Orleans Saints start doing something worth me painting my face, I'm not going to do it. They got Dark Saint out here looking like a civilian, man. It's bad. It's bad. I mean, everybody's fed up. Tyra, thank you very much for the $10. Said there's a difference between supporting the team when they are down versus supporting nonsense and trash. This is nonsense and trash because of the competent and inept leader, period. Look, if the Saints were out there losing games but playing hard, and we can kind of see the direction that they're going in, seeing the promise, seeing the hope, I can understand going to the games. But look, anybody that gets mad at me for making that statement about not going to the games, not supporting this team by going to the games, I need you to answer this question for me. If you feel like, TJ, you're out of line, TJ, you tripping, Tim, you tripping, answer this question for me. What is the one thing that the New Orleans Saints are doing right now, as we speak, that you can be like, man, I see hope in the future because of that? Somebody please tell me. Look, the landscape of the team. Look around you. What is the one thing that you have seen on this football field? If you saying, man, you tripping, man, I'm gonna support my team, good, bad, and different, man. Y'all can stay at home, but I ain't. Answer this question for me, please. What is the one thing that you're holding your hat on that tells you that this team is trending in the right direction? Not getting sacks, DBs and safeties getting beaten coverage, young and vets. The veterans that you have getting outran by a dude that runs a 4.8 40. Offensive line in shambles. Your right tackle that you drafted in the first round is hit and miss. He's better, but that's not saying much. You're waiting for the return of your right guard, who is about as average as a C+. But because everybody else is so horrible, it makes it look like Quentin Nelson just returned to your lineup. I guess you can say Tallahassee Fuad. I guess, he plays pretty well. But what do you hang your hat on? Like what in this organization right now? I guarantee you, like I mean this. There's not a person on this roster right now that I feel like if the Saints were to trade them, I would be hurt by the situation because of what they give for the team, but it wouldn't be to a point where I feel like it wouldn't make the team better. Like if we was to lose them, I feel like, okay, man, I can understand that this, that, and the third. Nobody really balling. Offensive line in shambles. Alvin Kamara can't even get any type of like, he made some plays today, but it was basically on his own strength and his own merit. Everything that he did, Chris Olave is probably going to end up like on the shelf somewhere. Dude comes back and they throwing hospital balls to him. Alvin Kamara got a hospital ball thrown at him. Like, these dudes ain't going to survive. Like, they're not going to survive, man, the way that the game is being played right now. There is not one saving grace on this football team where I feel like somebody need to be sitting in the audience waiting and looking at this team. Like, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And I'm saying this because Mickey Loomis is not committing to his end of the bargain. That is why I'm saying this. Has nothing to do with the players in general. It has everything to do with the fact that you know for a fact that what you're doing to this football team is not the right thing. And you're only doing this based on your own ego. You're being selfish. Mickey Loomis is being selfish to the Who Dat Nation. And we shouldn't sit up here and allow a guy to be that selfish. He is a selfish general manager right now because this is about him. This has absolutely nothing to do with the betterment of the team. You're not going to convince me that Dennis Allen is the answer to the Saints' long-term success. I am not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept that. This is about you and your ego. And you're trying to save face, and you don't want to admit that you made a mistake. You don't want to sell it. You don't want to let everybody know that. So you don't want to let this guy go. You rather allow this team to fumble all over itself and look absolutely ridiculous in the process just so you can feel justified for hiring a guy. But he constantly, week after week, makes you look even more ridiculous week after week after week after week. And you may not care because you feel like the wheel's still going to turn, baby. We still going to make this money, baby. I'm not going anywhere. I'm the executive vice president of the New Orleans Saints. You got to hit people like that where it hurt. You got to stay home. You got to stay home. Plain and simple. You got to stay at your house. If you love the New Orleans Saints like you got to stay at your house because that's the only thing rich people understand is when you take money away from them. That's the only thing they understand. That's the only way you get their attention. Because you can't really walk up to them and say nothing to them. Like, they don't care. But when they start looking at that portfolio and they start seeing you losing money, that's when they feel like things are going to change. That's when you got to make some moves. That's when you got to do some moving and some shaking, baby. That's when you got to do that. I'm willing to trade Olave for picks while his value is still pretty high. Chris Olave deserves better. Chris Olave deserves better, folks. Like this dude is a bad. There's this picture of this Maserati just sitting under this trailer house, right? The trailer home. Right, you know what I'm saying? That's basically what he is right now. Like they had the little Maserati underneath this shed next to a house, like in a little rural area. That's what he is. Wasting this man away, wasting his valuable years. Put this man on some other team that actually can do something. Because I mean, they just wasting this man away. This man is too talented. He went over 100 yards today, but we gonna lose Kendra and watch when I tell you the next team he goes to will show us just how talented he is. He ain't going anywhere because the next coach that come in gonna know how to use him. All right, so making a difference. The Richard Sherman said that they want to get the coach fired. I agree. TJ, all the New Orleans mainstream still making excuses for DA. I don't see how they can. Who's making these excuses? Who's making the excuses? I want to know because I mean I heard Catherine Terrell, like I heard her holding this man foot to the fire. I heard her ask the question about is he concerned about being on a 6-game losing streak and not generating results about his job security. She asked the question. She asked that question. I want to know who's sitting up here in the land of delusion. I want to know that because I know my boy Ryan Walker ain't rolling like that. I know my boy Ryan ain't rolling like that. I know my boy Luke Johnson ain't rolling like that. I know these boys ain't rolling like that. I know they ain't sitting up there talking like that. I don't know. I mean, even Optimus Prime himself, my guy Jeff Nowak, even he got to call a spade at this point. Even he got to call a spade. Even Optimus Prime himself had to call a spade at this point. He's talking about Bobby Abel. Oh man, I mean, how many losing seasons Bobby didn't had. I mean, this probably shoot, he probably do understand because he was probably game was over before he got off the bus back in the day. When Kat asked the question, did he cut her off with his rude ass? No, he answered the question. He said he talked to the management every day. That's what he said. He said, I talk to the management every day. And probably like, Eric. TJ, Jameis Winston looked good today. I want to say he won a football game. He made some plays now. He made some plays. But he won a football game. He won over 300 yards and he beat a red hot Baltimore Ravens team. Some people was talk about, some of the passes that he threw could have been interceptions. Actually, as a matter of fact, the pass that he threw before he threw the game-winning touchdown, that about to be a pick. But anyway, Dak Prescott doing what Dak Prescott do through a pick. But all I'm saying is there was one play. I want to say Kyle Hamilton like had the interception right in his hand and he dropped it. And then right after that, Jameis Winston threw a touchdown. But at the end of the day, he won the football game. Somebody said Bobby Abel had CTE. I'm not going to touch that. Even famous Jameis Winston won today with the Browns. Why y'all keep trying to trade people for picks? We can't even draft well. That's what I don't understand either. I mentioned that, especially when they was talking about signing back Alvin Kamara. I say, what has this team done as far as the draft process that gives you the optimism that they're gonna do the right thing? But my entire point about making trades has nothing to do with. I just feel like these dudes deserve better. They deserve better. If Mickey Loomis gonna sit up here and allow this team just to look at the cluster, that it does. If you're going to do that, cool, right? But don't let these players don't squander these dudes' prime, man, by you just having a ego trip. I want to see these dudes go out here and thrive. There's no reason why Chris Olave shouldn't be a top 10 receiver in the NFL with the talent that he possesses. With the right coaching in the right situation, Chris Olave can be a top 10, top 5 receiver in the entire National Football League. But instead, this man out here getting cardio and getting his head knocked off because you got young, inexperienced quarterbacks that just worried about making a play, but not worried about protecting their quarterback. Then as long as this dude deserves better, man. Some of these players deserves better. Jaden Daniels threw a game-winning Hail Mary against the Bears. That boy a beast, man. Because we win 6 games a year, which keeps us out of the top picks every year. Well, it ain't gonna happen this year. Not the way they playing. Stop using the N-word. Yeah, man. We better than that, man. We better than that. DA a problem, obviously, but Loomis is the real issue, and no one wants to hold Loomis' feet to the fire the correct way. Chew on that gum. That's because he owns the team. He's one of the owners of the team. How can you hold the owner accountable? The only one that can really hold the owner accountable is us by not showing up to the games. TJ, I knew this game was washed when we didn't run the ball with Taysom on the 3rd and 1 on the first possession. Then they punted at half field. Yep. I mean, even the commentators were like questioning these boys. They was like, well, they just got in the fetal position, living to fight another day. But the State of the Saints podcast, once again, powered by BetUS. Sign up today. Get up to 125% on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000. Use the promo code YouTube150. Whether you download the app or you go to the website. Jared says, call the people the N-word. We'll get you timed out or hidden. Keep it clean. The last few years have been a waste of talent with the team. Slim, all my teams lost. We don't just play complimentary football. Now we play cowardly football. 3rd and 1. Ooh, I'm scared. 4th and 1. We in plus territory. Let's punt. Well, Dennis, we saw Blake Ruby kick today, and he missed a field goal of 50 yards. Go ahead and punt it. No heart. Been a fan since we played at Tulane Stadium. Young players wasting years away. No swag, no energy. D-line can't pinch the quarterback. Pathetic. Man, that play that Carl Granderson had Justin Herbert in the end zone. I mean, clean shot. I mean, nothing. There was only 2 things that were standing in the way of Carl Granderson: space and opportunity. There is no way that Justin Herbert should not have got sacked in the end zone, and that shouldn't have been a safety. Instead, he ended up breaking off of Carl Granderson. Carl Granderson goes down to his legs, and he almost completed the pass to Palmer down the field. These guys can't get a quarterback on the ground for nothing. Like they cannot. They cannot put a quarterback on the ground to save their life. They can't. Them boys be so happy when they get a sack. Everybody trying to jump on top. One guy get a sack. Everybody trying to get that sack. It was me too. It was me. I did it too. You seen me sack him? I was there at the spot too. Pathetic. Allen would have been fired by now if he was a head coach of most other NFL teams. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man would have been gone. Carl killed me with that play too. Granderson has taken a step back. Man, a lot of these guys have taken a step back. Honestly, I don't even think it's them because they just can't get pressure on the quarterback. I feel like, I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if it's the way that I don't know if it's the way that they practice. I don't know what it is. It's like none of them can it's like nobody can get a quarterback on the ground. Nobody. It's like none of them can get a quarterback on the ground. This has been going on for a couple of years. The defensive line can't wrap up on them sacks. They can't. It's like they can't get a sack. I had to double check if we hired Kubiak or we have a P. Carmichael clone because the play calling was deja vu from last year. Actually, it's worse. It's worse. The play calling worse than it was last year. It's worse. Like it went to a point where even if Taysom wasn't in the lineup, like your offense just completely like just dead. Like it's like, man, dude, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the plays they want him to call or it's the plays that they don't let him call. I don't know what it is. But dude is terrible, man. Like awful. It's like, man, you be wondering, like, why in the world did you hire him as a head coach? I mean, an offensive coordinator type stuff. TJ say we did fire Allen. Who do you think Darren Rizzo? I don't care who it is at this point. Like I just want this dude off the sidelines. Like the damage has been done. You're not making the playoffs. You're not winning the division. That's just not happening. You're not doing any of those things. You're not winning the division. You're not going to the playoffs. So regardless of who you decide, it really not going to change your fate. I just don't want to see this dude on the sidelines anymore. Like to me, that would be a step in the right direction because that make me look forward to next year where you can probably find somebody else as a head coach where you can actually do something. But as long as this dude is on the sidelines, it's giving me like those vibes like, man, y'all trying to find a reason to keep this dude around. And he needs to go. How many beatdowns do we need to see to let you know that he needs to go? They're not even competitive. The Saints aren't even competitive in football games, folks. They're not. Yeah, for a couple of quarters or whatever like that, but eventually they're going to get the doors blown off them. They're not even competitive. 3 straight weeks they got mollywopped. 3 straight weeks, the same stuff has happened over and over and over and over again. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like I said, I don't know who the next head coach is going to be. I don't care who the interim coach would be. I just need this dude out of here because I know that means that I would know for a fact that you're trending in the right direction. You're moving on from this loser. Dude is a straight up clown, man. Clickety clack, Barnum and Bailey, universe soul clown is coaching this football team. I'm talking about as a coach, not as a human being. Man got the team looking bad, man. 6 straight losses. I'm to a point, man, I'm going to help you talk about it. It's bad, man. The team look worse every week. DA, can you just quit? Well, he's not going to quit. And like I said, them boys scrapping out there. God dog, man. And homeboy about to take his helmet off. They got flag. God dog. Man, them boys scrapping out there. They show more scrap in that little 30-second sequence than I seen the same show in the last 3 weeks. TJ, I told you earlier, I went to go fix my food. Man, bruh, I'm telling y'all right now, if I didn't have these obligations, bruh, man, they had some fries I ain't make because I pulled out my deep fryer and I fried my chicken and I put it in some of this Nashville hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? And I shook it up in that bowl. Y'all know how I do it, man. That was what I was on. But I stopped what I was doing. I stopped frying my chicken. I stopped cooking my fries. I ain't even dropped my fries, man. I ain't dropped my fries. Because I came and did this show right here, and I had to watch this embarrassment. This was bad, man. This was bad. My frat brother says, I didn't expect the Saints to win today. I don't think nobody did, G. I don't think nobody did, bro. Says TJ, worst part about the game is my son started rooting for the other team in my face. Well, I already told y'all, man, my son not even a Saints fan. You know, he likes Chris Olave, but he's a Buffalo Bills fan. So I'm not with that. You know, like I'm not one of them days like, man, I'm a Saints fan. You got to be one too. Like, nah, man. Like, cheer for whoever you want to. And it's not like the Saints giving them a reason to, you know. TJ, we stopped our meal planning, LOL, for this pathetic show. For real. I'm telling you, but I was about to fry them. I was about to put them fries in that deep fryer. Man, I was like chili and some cheese on it. But I was about to make a nice little spread right there. I bought the shredded cheese and all. And I stopped because of this. Because of this right here. Next coach will still have struggles. The cap situation is a huge issue, and we have a few years before. K-Camp, I don't believe that. Do I feel like, okay, I understand that the cap issue will be a little bit of an issue, but you're not about to tell me with some better coaching, that this team would be sitting here losing 6 straight games with some better coaching. I don't care who you got. You ain't about to look. I ain't saying they about to go out here and be running a table and beating the brakes off teams, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But I will tell you this. They will put forth a better effort than we've seen over the last 6 weeks. The Saints. I don't want, like, here's the thing. Because of the Saints schedule over the last couple of days, the fact that they played on Thursday, I was able to see some of these Sunday early slate games, which is the majority of the games being played. You have a few games that get played at 4 or 3 o'clock Central, wherever you are. I got a nice little sample size of these teams. I have not seen a team out there right now that look worse than the New Orleans Saints on Sundays. I have not. I watched the Indianapolis Colts play today, and Anthony Richardson there, he looked pretty bad, but he did make some plays too at the same time. The Saints look like the worst team in football right now. I mean, the Giants play tomorrow, but all I'm saying is the Saints look like the worst team in football right now. They do. They look horrible. Like, I'm really sitting up here, and I'm not just saying this for dramatic effects either. I really feel like the Carolina Panthers are going to beat the Saints next week. I really do. Said the Jaguars look nah. Jaguars was competitive with the Packers today. I don't know if they won or not. I was watching that game early. No, but they only lost 30-27. They only lost 30-27. They was competitive in that game. Trevor Lawrence was making plays. Brian Thomas was out there making plays. You had Evan Ingram out there making plays. Nah. They put up 27 points. How many points did the Saints put up? The Saints have put up, 18 points in the last 2 games? No. I get it. We looking at records, but I'm telling you, performance and actually, like, matriculating the ball down the field and got, like, their biggest issue is they don't want to use Tank Bigsby. They're trying to use Travis Etienne when Tank Bigsby looked better. They got the wide receivers. They got the playmakers. They got the defense. Some of these teams are just stubborn. They want their guy to work. And that just ain't it. That Thursday game was so terrible. I'm glad it happened on the day because I was able to enjoy my baby shower with my wife. Well, that's great, man. To see that, those are some things right there that you should look forward to and stay focused on. Like, not this nonsense right here. Like, once I turn this off, I'm done. We talk about it. We're gonna still do podcasts, of course, but I ain't thinking about this team, man. Them boys ain't trying to win. They ain't trying to win, bro. Yeah, not trying to win. 4th and 1, instead of going for he punts. DA is scared, little coward, and it's going to be a 7-game losing streak. Bruh, you're on a 5-game losing streak. Going for it on 4th and 1 is the least of your problems. But like I said, they're going to continue to parade this nonsense out here and tell us that we tripping and try to gaslight us for, man, it ain't what it seemed. Y'all the ones that's the problem because y'all don't understand what DA trying to do. Somebody please explain to me exactly what DA is trying to do. I go back and I rewatch the week 2 episode after the Cowboys game for happiness. Yeah, and when we all thought that the Saints were on a collision course with a home field Super Bowl, right? That was like eons ago. You know what, TJ? I might make a bet that the Panthers beat us next week, like for real. Jameis looking good, but I guess it's still his fault. Well, he won today, and he beat the Ravens. I don't care. I don't care what people try to spin that as. The Ravens are a good football team. I love the way Kendre Miller run the ball. Yeah, me too. I think they got something there. Chargers defense is very good. Yeah, it's very good, but bruh, they made plays. And with better quarterback play and some better play calling, dang, I think they could have got more than 8 points. But that boy, like I said, man, that's the best thing they could have did for Spencer Rattler was put that boy on that bench. Because all he was doing was they were just killing that man confidence. And they did it at Derek Carr's for Derek Carr. That's sad. I don't care. They did that for Derek Carr. If you are a good football team, if you have good coaches, you did not look at that dude and was like, I know fans want him, but he ain't ready. He ain't ready. He ain't ready. He ain't ready. Like, there's no way as a coach, as somebody that coaches football, know that a dude ready or not. And they knew he wasn't ready. And they put that dude out there for the simple fact that they knew that guy wasn't ready and everybody was clamoring for him. And they did that. So when Derek Carr comes back, nobody would be sitting up there questioning it. Nobody would be worrying about, oh, Derek Carr, man, if Spencer Rattler was playing. No, that's the only reason why they did that. They destroyed that man's confidence. They destroyed that man's confidence, and they put him out there when he wasn't ready, all for the fact that people can sit up there and not say anything about Derek Carr because of what happened last year with Jameis Winston. Period. See, if you put Jameis Winston out there, you was probably going to win some football games, or he would have made it look more interesting to a point where it would have been a credible debate. Having Spencer Rattler out there, knowing that he wasn't ready, they know that it wasn't debatable. And they put that man out there out of spite. They put that man out there because they petty. They put that man out there because they want the fans to get behind Derek Carr. And they knew that guy was going to look like that. You ain't about to tell me that. Because if you look at this guy in practice and he was playing like that and you still put him out there, then we definitely don't have the right people in the building. You definitely don't have the right people in the building. They know what it was, man. They know what the whispers are. They know what the pulse of the Who That Nation is when it comes to Derek Carr. They know that Saints fans aren't really bought into Derek Carr like that. So how do you get people on board? You make him look like he's a savior. You make him look like he's the best choice. Oh, please come and save us, Derek. But they don't understand this. I would rather watch Jake Hayner and Spencer Rattler go out there and make rookie mistakes week in, week out as rookies and first-year guys than a guy that's been in the league for 11 seasons doing the same doggone thing. I mean that. But that's what they tried to do. Last year, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it last year because you can talk about Jameis Winston all you want to with the interceptions, this, that, and the third. But one thing you know, Jameis Winston gonna put that ball up there and he gonna put it in a position for guys to make plays. You know it, I know it. And if you make enough plays, he can make enough plays to a point where people forget about Derek Carr and wouldn't want him out there in the first place. Now, how does it look? Is Derek Carr playing next week? Yeah, he might play next week. Oh, thank God. All a part of the plan, man. TJ sound crazy, but if Rattler bailed out, you wouldn't balled out, you wouldn't be saying this. Go back and look. First off, go back and take a look at my episodes when I'm talking about Spencer Rattler. I challenge you to see anything where I said that Spencer Rattler should be the starter of this team. Go back and look at the reports of what I said. I said Spencer Rattler can be a starting quarterback in the league, but he is not ready to hit the field. And no, I wouldn't have said that because I never said that. And as a matter of fact, since I know you one of them car stands, go back and take a look at what I said when it comes to Spencer Rattler. Go back and take a look at it. I said this. I said, now, if he goes out there and he looks like a rookie and he doesn't look prepared, don't let that be an indictment on him. Why would I say that? Because I know going to the Senior Bowl, dude, going and interviewing Spencer Rattler at the Senior Bowl, watching him during a week play the quarterback position, knowing that he's good, but he has some work to do. Dude, I ain't just sitting behind his microphone, dude. I'm out there watching these dudes practice, seeing these things go down. I knew the dude wasn't ready. So if he would have balled out, yes, it would have been a pleasant surprise. But I wouldn't have used that to try to knock Derek Carr. I've been saying the same thing about Derek Carr. It could have been Spencer Rattler. It could have been Spencer James, all I care. The fact of the matter is the dude wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. And your boy Derek Carr ain't it. He ain't it either. The record, basically, you probably would have had 1 or 2 more wins, dude. I don't understand what y'all Raider and Carr stands don't understand. The dude ain't all that. He ain't. He ain't all that. The Saints ain't going to go to the Super Bowl because of Derek Carr. The Saints offense ain't about to be one of the top 5 in the NFL because of Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a middle of the pack quarterback. Period. That's just what it is. Y'all like to talk about this dude and try to save face and try to make this dude better than what he is. This dude has been in the league 11 years. If he was all that, then you would have seen playoff wins with your team. You would have seen wins with your team. How many times have we seen Joe Burrow carry that terrible Cincinnati Bengals team to the playoffs with no defense? So if he all that in the Hot Wheel track, bro, like miss me with all that stuff. Miss me with the nonsense, man. No, I wouldn't have said that. I never expected, like, here's the thing. I never expected for Spencer Rattler to throw for 5 touchdowns, 300 yards. I never expected that. I never expected that. I knew that this dude was a work in progress. Somebody please go back, because I see some clowns. I'm not talking about you, Dark Side. I mean, you're a friend of the show, but I had to let this be said. There's some people out there, man, you was lobbying for Spencer Rattler to start. No. I said it from the beginning. I said if Spencer Rattler goes out there, I said he's going to look like a rookie. I even gave a disclaimer. So y'all ain't about to do that to me, man. Y'all ain't about to do that to your boy. Y'all not about to do that to me, man. Y'all not about to do that to me. Y'all ain't about to sit up here and make it seem like I was just waving the Spencer Rattler pom-poms to a point I wanted him to play. Yes, I said don't sleep on Spencer Rattler. Yes, I said that he has arm talent and great ability, and people are going to be wowed by his ability. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I said that the dude wasn't ready. I said he had talent. I said in the right situation and the right coaching, he can be a really good quarterback. But I did not say that this man was going to light the world on fire. I did not say he was going to light the world on fire. Go back. I'm telling you, go back. Even when he started for the first time, y'all were here. What did I say? I said, if he goes out there and makes a mistake, if he goes out there and he turns the ball over, don't allow what's going on with the New Orleans Saints this season to determine how you feel about the dude. Now, I will say this. I do still feel like the Saints need to draft a quarterback because you're picking in a top 5 and you're in a position that you have not been in since 2006 with Reggie Bush. So, yes, I do feel like you need to draft a quarterback because you ain't been in that situation. And I don't expect for you to be in this situation for the foreseeable future. But you're here now. So you have to take advantage of that. I ain't about to look. I know they got some. I don't want to throw nobody under the bus. There may be some Saint fans that felt like this dude was the savior of the team and, oh, thank God we got a quarterback now. But I never felt that way. I never felt that way, at least not this season. At least not this season. But no. I knew he wasn't ready. I said, put that boy on the bench and watch him and let him get some mental reps. Rattler is going to be a starter and a good franchise quarterback, but the Saints don't have the coaching staff. Honestly, I don't think he's that bad. Coaches don't have a good game plan for him. I just think that they handcuff him. And, you know, you don't have a good offensive line. You don't have a good running game. I mean, it's like, I think there was a picture that was going around. I mean, it was showing the Saints offensive plays. You got guys bumping all into each other. Nobody was down the field. We were trying to get Watson and Carr when we should have built a team around Jameis with that $150 million we got garbage. Raiders have been the most dysfunctional franchise in the NFL for the last decade. It absolutely was the coaching. Yeah, okay. All right. How long have the Cincinnati Bengals been one of the most dysfunctional organizations in football? Somebody help me out. This is a team that didn't want to didn't want to get rid of Carson Palmer, don't want to really pay anybody, and just started to get good when who? Joe Burrow came to town. Joe Burrow came there, and all of a sudden they're a contender every single year. Why is that? Why is that? Did Cincinnati just automatically just wake up saying, you know what? I don't want to be dysfunctional anymore. Or the fact that they drafted a Heisman Trophy guy out of LSU that just changed their misfortunes. They're a good football team because of him. They've won football games this season strictly because of him, because of his touchdown to interception ratio, his high completion percentage. He is keeping guys employed. Zach Taylor, is he a good coach? He is not. Look at his overall record. It's below 500. What keeps him employed? Joe Burrow. So don't tell me that just because you're from a dysfunctional organization, if you find yourself the right quarterback and they won't be able to elevate everybody else's game. Stop, man, it's a functional organization. If you're the quarterback, if you that dude, if you that guy, then you're going to be able to rise above the situation. You're going to be flirting with the playoffs. You're going to be winning the division despite the dysfunction of the organization. Stop making excuses for this dude. Stop making excuses for him. If he all that and we need to fall in line and talk about how good he is, then guess what? Why y'all ain't been in the playoffs? Why? Why haven't y'all been to the playoffs? Man, miss me with that right there. Stop making excuses. The dude ain't really that good. The dude ain't really that good. It's just that he's above average, but nothing more than that. Y'all sitting up here justifying a dude that, like, it's not like we justifying Jay Hayner, justifying Spencer Rattler. You're trying to justify a 11-year veteran who has been in the league for 11 seasons and has fallen short more times than not. And we're crazy? Sound like y'all gaslight. What's up with the gaslighting? I know I ain't tripping. I done watched my fair share of football. And I know dude ain't it. I know dude ain't it. He not. Those years we went 7-9, 3 years in a row, we should have won 3 games. I'm sorry, folks. Y'all can sit up there and try to argue all day. Y'all ain't gonna win with me. Y'all ain't winning with me. Raiders a dysfunctional organization. Okay. All right. I can name several dysfunctional organizations, got quarterback, and all of a sudden the rest is history. Can I interest you in the San Francisco 49ers? They were a train wreck in the 80s. Let me put y'all on history. They were a train wreck in the 80s. Terrible football team. They hit rock bottom when they traded for O.J. Simpson, and they were one of the worst teams in football. All of a sudden, Bill Walsh comes along, Joe Montana, quarterback. Next thing you know, they winning. Dysfunctional organization ain't win jack the entire time. Turn around the entire organization. How many times did Drew freaking Brees carry the New Orleans Saints football team when the defense couldn't stop traffic with a stop sign? I would like to say that the Saints were a dysfunctional organization. They ain't never won nothing. Elevated everybody else around them. Like, all I'm saying is, man, like, if this dude is that, if he is that dude, I give you another one for the sake of Brent being here. Tampa Bay, dysfunctional organization. Got Doug Williams, went to the NFC Championship game. They were a dysfunctional organization. They ended up firing their coach, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years later after he left. Guess what? That was a dysfunctional organization. Man, we ain't about to do this, bro. They got dysfunctional organizations all around the NFL. Dysfunctional organizations, like, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? TJ, Whole Foods don't argue with Walmart. Don't let these foods get you out of pocket. They're not getting me out of pocket, Pammy. The reality is this. Like, it's just ridiculous that we even having this conversation. I'm not saying that Derek Carr is horrible. He's not a horrible quarterback. But to sit up here and say, whoa, like, man, it was just the organization. Like, nah, bro. Nah. The organization may be terrible, but he didn't help the cause either. He didn't help the cause either. Now what the Saints can do is tank to draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, one or the other. I remember the Saints used to be in the same division as the 49ers. I remember that in old NFC West. Carr is a poor man's Alex Smith. That's a good way of looking at it. Nah, he horrible to me. He's not a horrible quarterback. I won't say he's horrible. I don't want to go that far. I just think that he's not as good as people make him out to be. But we got 695 people watching this right now. Ask that you hit the like button. I'm going to take a few more and then we're going to get up out of here. Let's see. Lee says Shedeur can't. Look, I'm rolling with Shedeur Sanders. Like, man, do y'all see Shedeur Sanders play football? I know people look at the antics and the stuff going on with Dion, but the boy can play. The guy can play. Like, he's a good football player. Like, Shedeur Sanders would be my top option as quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Like, I know people talking about Cam Ward, but Shedeur Sanders, like, first off, he's a warrior. He's a gamer. He's a guy that has this confidence, and I feel like that's something that the Saints team is lacking. I think that just by him being, like, drafted by the New Orleans Saints will give this organization a shot in the arm. You get a good offensive line, you draft Shedeur Sanders, and you have it back there with Alvin Kamara, and maybe get yourself another running back too. I don't know, like Ollie Gordon or something like that, because you're not going to get the running back out of Boise State, because he going to be a top draft pick. But you fix that offensive line, you get them a good running game, and you go from there. Quinn Ewers, that ain't the answer though. TJ, most of these Saints are used to Breeze Payton era. They don't know about them Swagman bag days. Yeah, they don't. I mean, but a lot of them, they just not old enough to remember that. I'm not gonna hold them accountable, but I am going to teach them. I am going to teach them about that though. I am going to like give y'all them teachable lessons. The Saints, they need hope. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. It's ironic that 2005 has been a topic of conversation today, because your New Orleans Saints, that was the Katrina year. That was the first time that they lost 6 straight games since that time. And we know that the Saints picked second in that draft in 2006. And we know that the Houston Texans ended up getting Mario Williams, right? And we were happy because we knew that the Saints were going to get Reggie Bush. And y'all remember, like, when the Saints draft Reggie Bush, man, how excited you were. Like, man, we got Reggie Bush. Man, he one of the most exciting players in all of college football. Man, we going to Super Bowl. Like, we were really excited about that. And you needed that, right? Because the New Orleans Saints was the thing that band us all together. When that draft was going on, you had people that were staying in trailers. You had people that got displaced from New Orleans, never to go back again. But that tied us to the city. And it gave us hope when Reggie Bush put on that Saints hat and he got drafted by the New Orleans Saints. I'm looking at this team in the same way that we did in 2005, when we felt like all hope was lost. Like, we can't win a game. We ain't got nothing to look forward to. If you end up drafting a guy like Shedeur Sanders, if you end up drafting him as your quarterback, I feel like you're going to give Saints fans that same type of emotion, that same type of feeling that they had when Reggie Bush got drafted. Right now, we ain't got nothing to believe in. We like even as long as this dude is on the football team coaching this team, I'm talking Dennis Allen, we still feel like hope is lost. We still feel that way. But You get rid of this dude. You draft yourself Shedeur Sanders. You get yourself an offensive-minded coach off in this thing. You get some responsible people in that front office. Yes, I'm talking about revamping that front office because Jeff Ireland overrated. Overrated. Him and his scout team, overrated. You get yourself some better scouts. You get yourself a different defensive-minded guy that don't play conservative, not like we playing like the San Antonio Spurs type. Oh, we just conservative. We're not going to rush the passer. We're not going to blitz that much. We're going to send a cornerback. No, bruh. Nah, bruh. Get yourself somebody out there that's them dogs going to be hunting. You get yourself a pass rush that can get the quarterback on the ground. You get a defensive coordinator that's going to challenge guys, get in their face. And not like, oh, we need you, baby. We need you. We need you out there. Oh, you hurt? Oh, my leg hurt. I'm hurt. Okay, man. You hurt, man. You can go sit over there on the side. We ain't gonna have nobody else that can compete with you. We know that. But we need you out there. Nah, bro. Get yourself a defensive coordinator that's gonna challenge these dudes. Get yourself an offensive-minded coach that have guys out there looking ridiculous. Like Ben Johnson has the Detroit Lions got the Tennessee Titans out there looking. Man schemed up a play where David Montgomery threw a pass to Sam Laporta. That's what you do in order for you to improve this football team. I don't care about handshakers and baby kisses like some of y'all do. Oh, I don't know about him. I seen him out there. He had the gold chain on. He had the gold grill in his mat. He had the hat turned to the back. I don't care about any of that stuff. Y'all want politicians and stuff. Vote for me. If you want your franchise to look the part, vote for me. We ain't running for public office here. We ain't running for public office. We ain't got to be sitting out here every time you walk through. Hey, did you see him? Look how erect his back was. Look how good he looked up in that suit. Like, man, miss me with that nonsense. Can you ball the free out? That's all I care about. Can you ball out? Can you ball out? Can you get the ball into the end zone? Can you get the ball into the hands of the playmaker? That's all I want to know. If you ain't doing that, then I don't care. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I care about is winning. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what some of y'all be wanting. Y'all want these politicky type quarterbacks. Make you feel good about yourself. Oh, did you see him? Did you see him? He was walking past me today and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "You want a picture?" And he took one with me. What a great guy. I don't care about any of that stuff, man. I don't need to take no picture with you. I don't. Just win some football games. I don't care. This organization needs a shot in the arm. Because right now, only thing that is shot is the liquor that people drinking after these football games. I mean, my goodness, terrible. But anyway, thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. I really do appreciate it as Dak rolls to his left, tried to sling the ball down the field, and that boy caught that thing. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. We'll be back to talk, give our final thoughts. But before we go, I forgot to mention this. I don't know if I read the stats. Spencer Rattler, 12 of 24, 156 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Jake Hayner, 9 of 17, 122 yards, 0 touchdowns. Taysom Hill drew that trick play that almost got intercepted, but he threw it for 3 yards. Alvin Kamara, 10 carries for 67 yards, 6.7 average. He happy about that. Let's see. Taysom had 4 carries for 20. Kendre Miller, 3 carries for 16. Should have been much better, but 2 of his big runs got called back due to holding. Jake Hayner, 2 carries for 10 yards. Jamal Williams, 2 carries for 4 yards. Chris Olave, 8 catches for 107 yards. He was targeted 14 times. They targeted Chris Olave 14 times. But hey, I ain't got no problem with it. Let's see. Alvin Kamara was targeted 11 times. He had 6 catches for 55. Juwan Johnson targeted 4 times, got caught 3 of them for 48. Bub Means 1 catch for 36. Taysom Hill 2 catches for 21. Mason Tipton 2 catches for 14 yards. And the defense, 9 tackles for Pete Warner, 9 tackles for Demario Davis, 5 tackles for Tyrann Mathieu, Jordan Howden, and Kool-Aid McKinstry, 4 tackles for Colin Saunders. He also had a sack in the game. Ugo Amadi had a sack. He had 3 tackles, along with Carl Granderson with 3, Alante Taylor with 3. JT Gray had 2, along with Marshawn Lattimore, John Ridgway, Willie Gay, Peyton Turner, and Chase Young had a half a sack with Alante Taylor. Nate Shepard, Taysom Hill, and DeMarco Jackson had 1 tackle. You had a big return by Kendre Miller to start the second half. That was a 3 and out. But all in all, I mean, they averaged 5 yards a carry. They averaged 5 yards a carry, folks. The Saints average 5.6, almost 6 yards per carry. Previous episodes are available right here on YouTube. This search State of the Saints. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button. Also subscribe to the Gumbo Pie Sports Podcast, the secondary channel, and also the NFC South Roundtable. That is available every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Check it out. Going to be alongside my guys Smitty, James, and Clay breaking down the NFC South. Yeah, I mean, nobody's happy this week for the exception of the Atlanta Falcons. They're the only team that won this week. But we'll be breaking it down. We'll be talking about some of these games, et cetera, et cetera. And also, you can follow me on X at TJAY-Jones8. Have a good morning, noon, night, whenever you're checking out this podcast. And like always, all I got to say is,
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.